इस सेशन को डॉक्टर पूर्णिमा के मूर्ति जो डायरेक्टर पंजन कुटीर आयुर्वेद सेंटर से आई हुई है, वो इसको लेक्चर डिलीवर करेंगी, प्रिवेंटिव स्ट्रेटजीज फॉर हेल्थ एंड वेलनेस। इस संबंध में डॉक्टर पंजन कुटीर के डिटेल्स के संबंध में डॉक्टर कमल सचदेव जी को डिटेल फॉरवर्ड करें।
नमस्कार, इस आयुर्वेदिक सेशन में आप सभी का स्वागत है। डेफिनेटली आयुर्वेदा इज ए वेरी ओल्ड हीलिंग साइंस एंड फ्रॉम मॉर्निंग आवर्स वी आर लिसनिंग दैट द आयुर्वेदा इज a very important lifestyle, life science which can prevent the diseases, and we are here gathered here for the prevention aspect of the disease, because for the treatment many things are there, but for the prevention the Ayurveda is the master. Dr. Purnima M. Murthy is the director and chief consultant of Pragya Kutir and Unique Ayurveda Panchakarma Rejuvenation Center and Abhigyan International Academy of Ayurveda and Yoga at Mysore. A gold medalist from the University of Mysore, she is a member of Rashtriya Ayurveda Vidyapeeth, New Delhi, and a PhD scholar of Yoga. She is the secretary of the Global Alliance of Traditional Health System, India, and the Mind Body Spirit Society of India. The NGO that she is a treasurer of Swami Vivekananda Research Institute of Medical Sciences and Rural Development Center, Mysore and Karnataka, caters free medical services to the rural areas. She has directed innumerable health camps and yoga therapy camps under this umbrella. Dr. Purnima has several research papers to her credit, and she has been the prominent voice at various international conferences. At the different areas she has worked, and she was awarded the Rodate Vijaya Vocational Award for her services to the society in the field of healthcare. The Dharma Award from the USA she got. Definitely we will be benefited from our lecture. So now I invite Dr. Purnima to deliver her lecture. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Very good afternoon to all of you present here. First of all, let me thank the Chhatrapati Shahuji Maharaj University Institute of Health Sciences, Kanpur, for organizing this wellness conference and having me over as one of the distinguished speakers. I'm going to speak to you about the preventive strategies for health and wellness the Ayurvedic way today. There has been a quest for longevity all the while. People want to live long. The Yajurveda has quoted, Jivema Sharada Shatam, Shrunuyama Sharada Shatam, Prabhavama Sharada Shatam. Even when you try to take the blessings of the elderly in the family, they say, Ayushman Bhava. Why? It means everyone wants themselves and for you to live long. And why live long? When you talk to people, they say, why should we live long at all? We are deceased. It's better we leave. But there is a purpose for human life. Because it is said in our culture that Sharira Madhyam Kalu Dharma Sadhanam. The main purpose of human life is to attain moksha or liberation through sadhana. And for us to do sadhana, the body, the physical body, is the main instrument. So, to achieve the purusharthas at the dharma, artha, kama and moksha, arogya is the chief factor. Therefore, it is said in Ayurveda, dharma, artha, kama, mokshanam, arogyam moolamuttam. If you do not have a physically fit body and a sound mind, it is not possible to achieve all the four purusharthas. But, as the WHO also quotes, there is a definition for being physically fit and mentally sound. Are we all healthy? Suppose you're walking on the street and you bump into somebody and they say, "Hey, how are you?" Then you say, "I'm fine." But you talk to them for the next 5 minutes, they will come up with very many things. "Oh, you know, my knees hurt, my low back hurts, I'm this, I'm that, my daughter-in-law is not okay, my mother-in-law is not okay." There are hundreds of things to talk about. But in the first instance, when you ask them, "How are you?" they said they were fine. So what did it mean by saying they were fine? The definition of health, according to Ayurveda, is samadosha samagnischa samadhatu malakriyaha prasanna atma indriya manah swastha ityavidiyate. All the three doshas in the body, or the bioenergies that we talk about, the vata, the pitta and the kapha, the sama agni, there are 13 agnis in the body, including the jataragni. There are 7 dhatus or bodily tissues, and the 3 fecal matters, or the sweat, urine and the feces. All these have to be in good balance and equilibrium, and there has to be a harmony in the Atma and the Mana. Prasanna Atma Indriya Manaha. Only if all the faculties of the body, the mind and the soul are in equilibrium, only then a person can be called a healthy person. Going by these factors, how many of you consider yourselves healthy? Are we fit in every sense? Can you raise your hands? How many of you are fit or healthy in this aspect of it? Very good. There's a big segment of people who say they are fit in body and mind. Yet, there has been a deterioration in our health status. But why? Why are people unhealthy? Is there any causative factor? There's a steep rise in lifestyle disorders, metabolic disorders. There's unhealthy lifestyle, there is emotional instability, there are many psychosomatic disorders, ever-increasing social problems, frequent hospitalization, excessive medication. People are becoming unpopular in their own homes. You go back home in the evening after a hard day's work and then say, "Oh my God, this man is back home." You're unpopular in your own homes. Why so? Why is that life has become a jigsaw puzzle? Dear friends, man might have made a big revolution in 4 centuries of growth from an era of blind thinking, superstition. He might have progressed to an area of scientific experimentation. We have tried to understand the laws that govern our universe. There are 2 challenges that is bothering us. One is pollution, which could be shaking our material front. But then there is one other thing called stress, the buzzword, which is shaking our existence. You talk to a kindergarten child today, the child says, "Leave me alone, I'm stressed." The bandwagon of people who are jumping into this is more. There's anxiety, there's frustration, there's antagonism, resilience, despair. Especially in women who think they want to become super women. Stress is the buzzword of the day. Also, perhaps, stress is something to do with our inner conflict too. Small little stressors on a daily basis, say from a dead car battery, or a colicky baby to pacify at home, or a boss to please, or some bills to pay up. There are small little build-up of stressors on a daily basis. Don't you all agree? Every one of us face this. You get up in the morning, there's no electricity. That is enough to stress us. You know there's a backup generator up there, yet we're all stressed. When this happens on a daily basis, there's an overload of stress on our body. And that eventually creates weakness and makes us vulnerable to many diseases. And what does it do? There's increased pulse rate. Whenever you're stressed, your pulse rate goes up, your heart rate goes up, blood pressure goes up, blood sugars go up. There's faster blood clotting, and there is increased stomach acids and increased production of blood sugar in the body, and there is localized inflammation. From migraines to neck spasms, to infertility, to lack of libido, to menstrual irregularities, acidity, GERD, acid peptic disorders, ischemic heart disease, diabetes, obesity, you name any disorder, and the root cause is stress. Where does it come from? Are we all trying to strike a balance between the mind, the body, the physical fitness, the balance, the wellness? It all looks like a jigsaw puzzle. There's been a steep rise in the lifestyle disorders that we call them. The diabetes has gone from an epidemic to a pandemic. The global projections from 2010 to 2030 show so much of statistics up here. You can follow my slides later if you need all these statistics. The complications of diabetes, from peripheral foot neuropathy to autonomic neuropathy to retinopathy and nephropathy, and the relationship with the DAN, or the complication, the other complication as to cardiovascular diseases, is all on the rise. Overall, 75% of patients with type 2 diabetes die of cardiovascular defect. All this is because there's no balance that is created in a lifestyle. There has been a rise in the cause of death in the USA, and the leading cause of death is cardiovascular disease. Also, stress, which is the causative factor, promotes tumor growth and angiogenesis, and this has been proved in rats. It also shows that the effect of chronic stress on orthotopic ovarian cancer, SKOV3, controls the disease confined to peritoneal activity. So what does it all go to say? That stress is one of the most important causative factor. And then we have the common geriatric disorders. Apart from lifestyle disorders, we have these. As we grow older, it is said, Jeevema Sharada Shatam. But as we grow older, we have all these geriatric disorders. From a geriatric cough to oncological disorders I have listed here, from dementia to depression to benign prostatic hypertrophy, insomnia, Parkinsonism, you name any disease. All these are bothering us, the bothering society. Do we have a management at all? I've given pictures of 4 different people because there are different modalities of treatment. How do we manage all these diseases? How do we prevent all these diseases? Is there something called the best medicine ever in this world? The Consortium of Academic Health Centers for Integrative Medicine defines or says that a combination of integrative medicine is the choice. There's no one system that can give us health or promote wellness. It defines that the practice of medicine that reaffirms the importance of the relationship between the practitioner and the patient, and it promotes and focuses on the whole person and is informed by evidence. It says, make use of all appropriate therapeutic approaches, providers, and disciplines to achieve optimal health and healing. The Consortium of Integrative Medicine, people use mind-body medicine, body-based practices, energy medicine, so on and so forth. It says that a combination of physical, social, and psychospiritual health is the focus of wellness. There is the need for a new medical model and a challenge for biomedicine. Integrative Medicine Center model, which talks about wellness, talks on all these aspects. You can take nutrition to education, music therapy, Tai Chi, yoga, meditation. They say you can achieve wellness by all these modalities. But because I come from a background of Ayurveda, I'm going to talk to you about the preventive strategies for wellness through the Ayurveda way. It's high time that we think of a preventive strategy, because we need to control diseases before it controls us. We are proud that Ayurveda and yoga has a holistic approach towards healthcare. Ayurveda is a complete philosophy of life. Ayurveda is just not a system of medicine. Two words, Ayur and Veda. Ayur means life and Veda means science. So Ayurveda simply means the science of life. It is a system that is preventive, curative and rejuvenative. Ayurveda actually helps reverse, reduce and prevent disorders. It was designed specifically to achieve and maintain internal and external stability through different modalities as specified in Ayurveda called Dinacharya, Rutucharya, Sadvritta, Yoga and Adhyatma. Ayurveda talks about holistic approach of both the mind and the body. Simply put, it's all about ahara, or vihara and vichara. It can be understood very simply. It is said that we are what we eat. Ahara. It comes from two words. Sanskrit is a very beautiful knowledge. Ahara is made of two syllables, ah and ra. Ah means that which comes from outside. Ra means that which goes inside. That's it. So whatever goes into your system from the outside is ahara to you. Whether it is what you see, what you hear, what you smell, taste, all the sense organs act as food providers to us. Are we eating the right ahara? Jo kave tan, o bhave man. Kabir said this. Are we eating the right kind of food? Are we eating it at the right time of the day? What is the quantity of the food that we eat? How sattvic our food is? Have we ever thought about what, when, why, and how much we eat and where we eat? Why do we eat at all? All of us should know this. Why do we eat? Most of the time, most people recite this shloka called Annapurne Sadapurne Shankara Prana Vallabhe Gnana Vairagya Siddhyartam Bhikshan Dehi Cha Parvati. Have you heard of this shloka or a mantra? How many of you have heard? Very good. It says, give me food for Gnana and Vairagya Siddhi and not to nourish the body just alone. Are we eating food in this sense or in this? We need to correct that. And Vihara, how is our lifestyle? Are we active at all? How sedentary are we? How is our thought process? That is Vichara. What we think, what we impart, our social behavior. Everything counts. Therefore, I have summarized it into Ahara, Vihara and Vichara. When we think in these modern terms, when we talk to patients about lifestyle modification, I use this little thing called the 4D method. Number one is de-stress, de-diet, de-drill, and the last choice is Dhanvantari or the drug. When you go to a modern medical doctor, they give you medication first. They don't talk about lifestyle changes. They don't talk about preventive medicine. The actual management of a disease starts here in the mind. That is why one needs to de-stress. Mind management is the most important tool in preventive strategies. Predisposed individual with a family history of medical disorders exposed to stress factors need to relax mentally as it triggers an environment for them to manifest. Can we flex the body and the mind? How do you like this slide? We need to flex the mind as we do the body. Yoga is the most important tool for mind management as well as handling physical disabilities. It's a scientific approach which helps patients to keep in good health, and I think yoga is the most economical mode of health practice. The role of yoga in the prevention of diseases in the offsprings of patient, of course, needs an in-depth study in view of the epidemic proportion of its management. Mind management, as I said, is the important strategy for lifestyle changes. Yoga therapy practices correct the problem from the most fundamental level. It corrects the problems from the emotional, psychological, and vital energy levels. Pranayama and yoga as a combination cuts the connection between the two forces, the Adi and the Vyadi. Adi is mind, Vyadi is disease. When the connection between the mind and the disease is disconnected, through yoga and pranayama, health is achieved and it promotes positive health. Yoga techniques, worldwide, people have showed positive improvements with less anxiety, positive attitude and increased willpower, more vigor and energy, higher thresholds of pain and earlier return to active lifestyles, faster wound healing and improved immune response. Vyadhi Kshamatva, as we call in Ayurveda, is achieved by yoga techniques. Mind management can also be achieved through Ayurveda. Ayurveda talks both of mind as well as the bodily management. Ayurveda says, Swasthasya swasthya rakshanam aturasya roganam, which means Ayurveda, which is actually a science of life, looks at promoting the health of the individual by advocating healthy life practices as a preventive strategy first, helps upkeep the health of the healthy individual, and then, despite this, if the person is deceased, then only Ayurveda works as a medical science. So Ayurveda is more a preventive strategy than a curative medicine. It says, Swasthasya swasthya rakshanam. First protect the health of the healthy individual, then treat athurasya roganat, the one who has been deceased, take care of them. Ayurveda's factors that promote health are dinacharya, ratricharya, rutucharya and achara rasayana. What is dinacharya? It's the daily regimen. Ayurveda says, Brahmi muhurte uttishtet swasto rakshartam ayushaha. Get up in the morning when all the positive forces are there in the environment. Get up between 3:30 and 4 o'clock in the morning. Give yourself some yogic techniques. Do your sadhana at that time of the day. It also says, Abhyangam achare nityam. It says, give yourself a good abhyanga with tila taila every morning. That restores your joints, keeps you agile, keeps you fit. And if you're not able to do this regimen every single day, at least apply a little bit of warm oil on Shiraha, Shravana and Pada. Shira Shravana Padeshu. Apply a little oil on your scalp, a little behind the ears and to the soles of your feet. That itself is sufficient to keep all the organs and the body healthy. It also talks about Ratri Charya. There's another speaker, I think she's going to speak tomorrow, called Dr. Neelu Jain Gupta, and she's going to talk about the circadian rhythm and the sleep cycles, which is very, very important. We are all behind quantity in life. Nobody wants quality. So they think they can overcome lethargy by working harder because they can acquire more and more and more wealth in life. So you can see all these professionals, especially from the IT industry, I'm sorry to say this, but going home back midnight. They compromise on their sleep cycles. They are on the social media for long. Compromise on the sleep so that they fall sick very fast. Ratri Charya is so important. Rutucharya or seasonal regimen. Ayurveda advocates what one needs to eat at what time of the day. It advocates what's the best food for what season. Do we follow that at all? All vegetables, all fruits, all grains are grown throughout the year and are available. We eat just for gratification. We all want instant gratification, instant success, instant contentment, and instant relief from diseases also. Is that possible at all? And Ayurveda talks about social behavior with a spiritual quotient. This is called Achara Rasayana. If all this can be put into practice, a good regimen, a dinacharya, a ratricharya, rutucharya, and social behavior, how you deal with your people, how tolerant you are, all this has an impact on your own health. If you want to be healthy, treat others well. Sum up, the factors that promote health are these. And Ayurveda, as I said, talks about Abhyangam, Achare, Nityam, which is the massage with suitable medicated oil for the beneficial of healthy individuals to stay healthy. Ayurveda also talks of Shirodhara to de-stress and to promote life, wherein a warm stream of oil goes on the forehead of a person for about half an hour to 45 minutes, which is believed to secrete endorphins and serotonins in the brain, which act as happy hormones. Ayurveda talks of Padabhyanga, or a foot reflexology massage with a standard operating procedure, which relaxes all the nerves in the body. And mainly Ayurveda talks about the Pancha Karma therapy, which is the detox therapy, as everybody colloquially knows. And Pancha is 5 and Karma is therapy, wherein we have Vamana, Virechana, Basti, Nasya and Rakta Mokshana. Ayurveda's Charaka Samhita says, Yevam Vishuddha Koshtasya Kayagni Ravivardate Vyadhayaschopa Prakritischa Anuvartate Indriyani Mano Buddhihi Varnaschasya Prasidati Balam Pushtihi Apatyancha Vrishatam Tasya Jayate. Which means, with a clean system or a detoxed body through Panchakarma, not only does the Agni improves, it also balances the Prakriti. Vyadhayaschopa all the diseases start getting better, and Prakritischa Anuvartate, normalcy is restored. Not only that, Indriyani Mano Buddhihi Varnaschasya Prasidati, the mind and all the senses also start getting better, and the complexion and the virtues of the individual improves. Not only that, Balaham, Pushti, Apatyancha, it also acts as a Rasayana and a Vajikarana. So, Panchakarma therapy is advocated in Ayurveda not only as a preventive strategy, but also for taking care of the diseases. Ayurveda also talks about Rasayana therapy. You know, you've heard of many Rasayanas like Chavanaprasha or Bhimashakti Rasayana, Badami Rasayana and things like that. And Ayurveda's Charaka Sutra Chikitsa Sthana says, Dhirgamayuhu, Smritihi, Medha, Arogyam, Tarunam Vayaha, Prabha, Varna, Svaraudaryam, Dehendriya Balam Param, Vaksiddhim Pranatim Kantim, Labhate Varasayana. You get longevity, your memory improves, your intellectual quotient improves, and you're healthful and youthful. All the senses and the bodily organs become very potent, and you also procure Vaksiddhi. These are the benefits of taking Rasayana. One of the most important Rasayanas is the Amalaki, which goes into the making of the Chavanaprasha Rasayana. So Rasayana, Panchakarma, both of them accords a comprehensive physiological and metabolic restoration. Ongoing Panchakarma regularly as a as a preventive strategy, it improves the Vyadhi Kshamatva, or the immunity in the body. It not only nourishes and maintains the cell's life, or called the neutralization, and it also prevents the programmed cell death. It improves and brings about the resistance against disorders. Ayurveda also says that there has to be no atiyoga of ahara and vihara. Just because it advocates, take a look at the ahara vihara, there should not be any atiyoga in it too. Ayurveda talks about viruddhahara, or incompatible diet, and avoidance of this for good and better health. Therefore, To sum it up, the key to good health, as Ayurveda promotes, is yoga and pranayama for mind management, dinacharya and ratricharya, rutucharya, sadvrita, regular abhyanga, and sattvika ahara. The positive drivers for this is converting whatever little stressors you overcome, you come in contact every day, into a growth enhancing reaction, and that becomes a resistive factor towards diseases. Dear friends, all I need to tell you all is live in the present. Live in the present. Stop carrying any emotional baggage from the past and the endless worries about the future. We all live in the past. We all think about the future. Nobody lives in the present. That is the chief causative factor for stress. Quit being sad, because that's the only way to be happy. And spend time thinking about why you are here in this world, and let that sense of purpose guide you. As I said, the chief reason why we are here, the main reason why we are here, is to attain liberation or moksha through sadhana. Therefore, if you have a fit body and a fit mind, and if you include the preventive strategies that I told you as keys to good health in your life, you will never fall sick ever again. Thank you very much.
She has given a very vivid talk about the whole concept of Ayurveda for the prevention of the disease as well as for the promotion of the health. She has talked about the Agni, the metabolic fire, the stress-free life, the yogic practices, and Panchakarma and other like procedures which are very useful in Ayurveda and should be propagated for the prevention of the disease and promotion of health. She has also talked about the Rasayana therapy, which is also very important. The main difference between the health and wellness is, the health is just the state, and wellness is the super added thing, means how we can use all the dimensions of the life and be cheerful in the life, because Ayurveda also said Dirghayu as well as Sukhayu. Means not only the Dirghayu is essential, but the Sukhayu is also essential. We should be live healthy until we here. We should be the pleasure of the life should be taken care. Thank you very much. I will call upon Professor Hans for felicitation of Dr. Murthy.
इधर से सही बढ़िया चलो